Thanks to all of our sponsors for making our Computex 2024 coverage possible.
Hey guys, we're here with FSP at Computex 2024, and I've just seen one of the most interesting cases because you may remember 10, 15, even 20 years ago, we all used to have the little fan controllers that we'd put into our CD drive bays. Well, they're making a comeback, and this is it. So this case is the U690BP. B stands for black and P stands for pro, because what they're actually doing with this is, well, there's going to be two models. So one is going to be the Pro, which is what we've got here, which has actually got, and like I say, 10, 15 years ago, we were all using these, but it's got this little controller in the front. So you can basically see most of the information that you'd need to know about your PC and how it's running. You can change the light mode, which just by turning the dial, you can see the lighting on the case and also the fans above actually change. So when we look at the fans, you can see they're all synced in, and I'll show you exactly how that happens. But as we change through it, you can see all of the color and all of the different modes change. We've also got the light speed. You can turn the lights on and off. You can also ramp up the fans. Now, what's interesting about that is the fans that you can actually get for this case. It does come with one included, which is, they're called the CF12FAD. It comes with one in the rear. But what you actually find is they've got a little LED readout on there. If we pan down to here, you can see it's got a little LED readout. And if I ramp the fan up all the way using that controller in the front, you can see it goes up to, what, 2,600 RPM. If I turn it back down, basically instantly, you can see it's now dropping to 1,200 RPM. So they don't actually sell the fans separately at this precise moment in time, but they are working on a retail package, because obviously if you're going to buy a case like this, it's going to come with one fan. You're going to want to keep up and sort of, put a lot more fans in there. So they are going to give you that choice of doing that. The fans themselves look absolutely amazing, but I want to talk about the case a little bit more, because not only do we have this little screen on the front, which does tell us the internal temperature, you can have GPU temperature, CPU temperature, and all of that comes down to the way that it actually reads the temperature. Now, if I go around this side, you can actually see in the middle, there's a little thermistor cable just next to the fan in there. So that's what's actually given the readout for the internal temperature. Obviously, if there was a system in here with a motherboard and graphics card, again, you could sync everything in. So it'll tell you your GPU temperature, CPU temperature. What's interesting though is that we got away from this. This was something that everyone used to do back in the day with Lamptron and AeroCool and Thermaltake, the 5¼ inch kind of drive bay fan controllers. But FSP have brought it back, but in a really, really unique way, because it's built into the case. Now, if you don't want this, they are going to have a non-pro model, which instead of having a screen here, it would just be completely flat. I'm not sure if it's going to have more ventilation there, but it would be interesting if it does. But this case gets even more interesting, because as we go around the back, we have actually got the side panel taken off. And what you can see there is that it's kind of enclosed to hide all the cable clutter. It's got this door on there, and the door can swing out, and this is where all your cables go. Now, in here you can see that it does come included with a fan controller. So we've got all of the connections for our RGB. There's 6 in total, ARGB connectors, and then we've got 8 PWM connectors that can then go off and obviously be controlled via the screen. But not only have you got that and obviously room for all your cable clutter to keep things, pretty decent looking in there, but you have got this, which is actually a door for housing your SSDs and your hard drives. So kind of multi-function in a way. You've got something to put the SSDs and hard drives on, as well as obviously hiding all the cable clutter. Now, in terms of what you can actually fit inside here, they've tried to basically push this to the max. So we have got the 120mm in the back that it does come with included. We've got 360 down the bottom, so 3 120 fans, and then we've got 420 on the side as well. So pretty kind of extreme. And do you know what? It's not actually that big, and you do get the 3 panels of glass as well. So some pretty interesting stuff. But there's a lot more at FSP. So we're going to move over to power supplies, and we can show you exactly what they've got over there. So this is the power supply range, and there has been a little bit of a refresh from last year. So I want to start off with the big boy. This is the Canon Pro 2500 watt. I mean, I'm going to pick it up, but it is pretty damn heavy. But the first thing you're going to notice, as well as all our normal connectors for motherboard and peripherals and PCI Express, is the 12V VHPWR connectors. So it's actually got 4 of them. And there is a reason behind that, and you're going to hear this a lot at Computex. AI, AI, AI. And we have actually got something to show you on the AI front, because FSP are right at the forefront of the game when it comes to AI. we all know when it comes to multi-GPUs, SLI isn't really a feature anymore, so you're not going to do that on the consumer gaming level. But with this power supply, you can actually connect up to 4 RTX 4090s. Obviously, we've got 2500 watts, which is more than enough power for it. These are the cables that it actually comes with. So really nice sort of braided cables, 12VH PWR connectors, or as they call it, 12V2 by 6. So yeah, you've got that. This is platinum rated. It's not going to be cheap. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not going to be cheap by any stretch of your imagination, but it's not a consumer power supply. It's more aimed and geared towards those who are doing workstation-based stuff, mining, anything to do with AI. So yeah, they've got a model ready to go and waiting for that. Now, if you want something a little bit sort of lower end, maybe gaming PC or high-end AI workstation-based PC, then we've got the Mega TI 1350 watt. Now again, if we look at this one, slightly different design on this, but you can see that we have 2 direct 12VH PWR connectors. So 12V2 by 6 again. All your other usual connectors, including peripherals, PCI Express, CPU, and so forth. Really nice design on this. I really like it. It actually looks really sort of premium and good quality. 1350 watt. Again, this is 80 plus titanium on this one. And then we have got the slightly bigger one, the slightly bigger brother, essentially very, very similar, but this is the Mega TI 1650 watt. So it's worth noting these are both ATX 3.1, both have PCIe Gen 5.1, they have semi-fanless modes. Basically, I guess the creme de la creme, the top model you can get. And with the 1650, again, when we look at 2 12VH PWR connectors on there for your 4090s. As we move further down, we've got the Advan PM, we've got a 1000 watt. So with this, much smaller form factor, but you are getting 1000 watts, 80 plus platinum on this one. It has got the single PCI Express 5 connector on there, plenty of peripheral, PCI Express, motherboard, CPU, and so forth. So yeah, we've also got the Hydro PWM Pro. So this is essentially a very similar design to what they had from the previous model, but now just a few things are refreshed in a way. So we're ATX 3.1, 80 plus platinum again, and so forth. Now, stepping away from kind of the high-end AI workstation-based stuff, we've got more of our consumer-based gaming power supplies. I hate saying the fact of, gaming power supplies, but I mean a power supply for a gaming PC. So what we've got is the Vita. So these are all part of the Vita range, and what they've tried to do is actually keep the naming structure a lot simpler. So we've got the GD. Now GD means G, meaning it's gold, and then D means it's direct. So all of the cables are direct, it's not modular. As we move over to this one, this is the GM. So again, it's gold rated, but this one is modular, M for modular. Then over here, again, we have very similar models, but these are bronze rated. So instead of GD, we have BD. So this is the bronze rated direct cables, and then we have the bronze rated modular cables. So this would be the BM. Again, all ATX 3.1, latest specifications when it comes to PCI Express 5. And yeah, they just seem to have kind of something for everyone, depending on what your budget is, what your needs are, and so forth. But now, let's talk about coolers. So this is their range of coolers, and if you saw our video last year when we did look at the coolers, you'll probably notice that they don't actually look too dissimilar. We have sort of heard that they've changed partner now for the pump, and that's very clear to see, because the actual top of the CPU coolers, the block itself, is slightly sort of shallower, a little bit shorter. It's not as tall as what it once was. So where's the pump? Well, we all know that there's a very, let's say, big thing when it comes to pumps and patents and Acertech and Cooler Master and everything. So FSP are obviously trying to find a way around that. So that's why what they've actually done now is they've put the pump into the side of the radiator. Now, this is going to degrade the performance ever so slightly, but it is going to give people, especially in the US market where this patent thing is an issue, it's going to allow them to have more choice. The fact that there are more brands on the market who can supply products at much cheaper prices. Now I have actually got the prices here because they've got quite a few models, everything ranging from 240 in black, and then we've got a 240 in white. We've then got 360 in black, and then in white, and then we've got a 480 again in black, and if they had a big enough board, I'm sure there would be a white one here as well. Now pricing wise, for the 240, you're going to be looking at potentially around the same price, but it wouldn't surprise me if you paid a little bit more for the white one, just because white generally does cost more to manufacture, but $75 US for these. If you're looking at the 360, we're going to go up in price a little bit to around $110. So very, very aggressive and competitive on the pricing. And then with the 480, which admittedly is more of a niche market for the types of users who are going to need an AIO of that size, you're going to be looking at $230 US. So pretty decent pricing on this overall. And do you know what? I actually really, really like the design. I'm hoping that the pump isn't going to cause too much of an issue when it comes to compatibility inside a case. We're going to have to look at getting these into the office and seeing if there are any issues and testing them in quite a few different cases. But really, really nice design, really aggressive pricing, really, really like these. Now, when it comes to CPU coolers, I guess what FSP have done is they've kind of realized that they can't compete with some of the maybe bigger brands who actually manufacture their coolers in-house, and they've realized that there's no point trying to compete with the likes of Deepcool and Noctua and other brands on the market. So instead, they're trying to make things a lot more, I guess a better friendly price proposition, should we say. So what they've actually got is a few different models here. So we've got the NP5 in black, and then we've got the NE5. These are essentially the same, but slightly different colors. So the black is going to be a little bit more expensive because, again, manufacturing costs are a little bit more. But, a simple, down-to-earth kind of basic cooler that's going to be better than a stock cooler, but isn't going to break the bank. So what we've actually got here in terms of pricing is $30 for the black one, and then $25 for the silver one over here. So really, really aggressive pricing. This is going to be, competing with, let's say, more budget-friendly brands on the market, but you're going to be getting the quality that you'd expect from a brand like FSP. Then, if you want something a little bit beefier, we've got the ME7 at the back, which comes with two 120mm fans on there, 6mm heat pipes. There's 6 of them in total. You've got the anti-vibration rubber on the fans and everything as well, but a dual tower cooler. On top of that, we've got the MP7B, as the name suggests with B. It is the black model. And then the pricing on these is $65 for the silver one and $70 for the black one. So again, very, very aggressive pricing. If we look at the bottom, you can see with the black one, it's got this nice sort of plate on there. Everything looks really, really nice, really good quality. You can see the fans connect into each other and then out into a single 4-pin PWM. As we look on the more basic one, you can actually get an idea as to the direct contact heat pipes on here. So this one's got 4 heat pipes coming through, and it makes direct contact with your CPU. So again, you're going to get the very best performance, but obviously you're not going to pay a huge amount for it. Now, there is one other thing I want to show you, because Computex is all about AI this year. So we're going to go over there and talk a little bit about that. So lastly, I want to talk about AI because it's the big buzzword here at Computex. You can see that we've got some deep learning going on right now. You can see that GPUs are pushing 100%, and this is all being done inside this case, which is manufactured by FSP. It's pretty crazy. It has tons of airflow on the front. It's got fans down the bottom, which again have the little RPM readout on there. So slightly different fans from the case that we saw earlier, but still you're getting that indication as to what's going on. Now you can see just the sheer size inside of this thing. It's absolutely ridiculous. So it supports 15 slots of PCI Express cards, basically. So you can fit 4 graphics cards in here. They've got 3 at the moment, and as you saw on the screen, they are pushing 100%. It supports up to a 480mm radiator, and it also comes with this really cool looking VGA holder. I mean, that, you can just tell straight away, means business. That is pretty extreme, holding the weight of them graphics cards up, especially if you're going to have 3, 4, 4090s in here, or even if you are more on the enterprise market, you might have Quadros in here or something like that. Now, the really cool thing with this is not just the huge amount of space and airflow, but as we go around the back, you can see we have plenty of room for storage. So this could be perfect for, I don't know, a home-built NAS or something like that. But the cool thing is we're actually running off of 2 power supplies. Now, we've got an ATX power supply in here right now, but it gets even more interesting. This is the Canon Pro 2500 watt that we saw. So you can run 4 RTX 4090s off this. But down here, you can see this power supply looks a little bit different. It doesn't look anything like the one above it. And that is because if we come round, you can see it's actually an industrial power supply. So it's got the 2 units in there, but it's actually got an ATX bracket. So this is just kind of an example of what FSP are able to do. So they're showing that, they're ready to go. If AI really is going to be the big thing this year, they're showing that they have products in the form of a case, in forms of power supplies, everything ready to go that can essentially, do all the AI tasks that you need to do. And I'm really excited. AI is the big thing right now, and FSP are at the forefront of it. So there we have it. That's everything from FSP at Computex 2024. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let us know in the comments below, what product did you like the most? For me, it's got to be that case. There's just a little element of nostalgia to it, and it looks absolutely amazing. Stay tuned for more Computex 2024 coverage. I'll see you in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.